Welcome back to the Placing Company YouTube channel. I'm Michael Koss.
I'm Michael Barrell.
And today you are in for a CV breakdown. So we have taken and changed the name of the person who sent through this CV and tried to keep the rest of it as pure as possible. We've changed the employer name and the university name. The rest is what we received. This is a software engineer who has applied to us from India. And the name we're using at the moment is Ritesh Sharma, and we are going to run through what is done right, what is done wrong, and would we place him?
Going to put the CV up here. Hopefully it fits. Guess you'll find out.
Don't forget to like and
yes.
subscribe as well, and put your comments below, and have a look at your own CVs as well. Tell us some of your biggest CV mistakes that you've seen of you or you've done in the comments. But let's see if we can help out who our candidate is today. Ritesh Sharma.
And get to the end of the video because we've got a bit of a special offering to offer at the end about some group coaching to get you over here. All right, Ritesh. Let's go. All right, Ritesh, CV's up there. Let's go.
So this is the format we received this CV in as well. So pretty bland.
We've changed a couple of tiny little things just so it's not identifiable,
Yeah.
but this is how it came.
Yeah, so as you can see, firstly we have the email address that came through. rittythepartyboy@gmail.com.
Beautiful.
And as an employer looking at a potential candidate, when I see rittythepartyboy@gmail.com, I immediately get concerned. And this is not the only CV that we've got with an inappropriate email address.
This happens heaps. This
It
happens
does.
all the time. Just
Yep.
just really, really informal, casual email addresses, and it just doesn't look good.
And by all means, have your own private email address and use it for literally whatever you want. But for work and professional activities, Gmail, Hotmail, you name it, they all give them out for free. Have a professional one that you can put on your CV.
Yep.
That is such a great way not to put the employer off from the outset.
Perfect. And it's the first thing I look at. It's the first thing up the top of the
first
email. It's
thing.
like, second line, ready to the party boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, objective.
Can he get back to a good start? Come on.
To secure a challenging position in a reputable organisation to expand my learnings, knowledge and skills. That means nothing.
Michael Barrell, what job is Ritesh applying for?
Very hard to say. It's not specific at all. It's not specific to the occupation that he's trying to get nominated for. It's just really generic. It's really generic. It looks like it's straight out of ChatGPT or even just a...
Well, on that,
search.
it definitely uses US English, not British English.
Yeah, you've got a Z in there in organisation.
Yep.
We use British English in Australia. Put the S where the Z is. Please get the spelling right.
Yeah, and look, that might be part of your reason to move overseas. You might be looking for a challenging position in a good company where you can further develop your skills. But the employer needs to know so much more about you, what you're doing, where you're going. And so we would hope to see probably your objective, or rather prefer to see an executive summary section.
Yes.
Where you just tell us 4 or 5 sentences about you, your experience, what role you're going for. And that really helps us then understand where this journey of the CV is taking us.
Exactly.
We don't want to go on a mystery. We want to be taken down a map.
But having that little paragraph up the top, really good. Here, obviously Ritesh there's called it an objective. I like personal summary.
Yep,
Michael mentioned
that's fine.
executive summary. Just a couple of sentences, but really, really direct, really clear about who you are, what you're offering, that sort of thing. And don't make it generic.
So now we're learning a little bit about him next in the next section. Education. Yep.
Education.
So he's a B.Tech in computer science from Sharda and graduated in 2012. Okay.
All right.
So that's a good qualification. No issues there.
Well, okay, so there's a few format things that I'd improve on.
Yes.
So for the entire resume, I'd make the actual main titles a bit bigger, So you can see like objective, which I'd prefer to be personal summary or executive summary, education, work experience, that sort of thing. Make it nice and clear so the reader can jump from section to section with ease. They're not just going around and trying to work out, where's the education part. Good that he's got the education part up front. It can be at the can't even talk. It can be at the end of the resume as well, if the resume is not too long. As I've said in previous videos, 2 pages maximum. Don't want it any longer than that. Preferably 1 page. 1 page is really good.
Yep.
The education part, I'd put the period of study, not just graduated 2012. I'd put the date range. So
why is that
2009
important,
to 2012? Well, I've got a few reasons. But
the one that I'm coming up with first and foremost is for some courses that will determine your ANSCO level. And which roles you'll be able to apply for. Yep. So let's say for nursing, if you've done a 3-year degree or a 4-year degree, that does actually make a difference in the sort of jobs that you can apply for. And there are skills requirements and degree levels that you must have in order to be able to apply for certain skilled jobs. So that helps us understand what you were doing and how long you were doing it.
Definitely. Whenever I do dates in a resume, I often put those in italics too. So I'll have the heading for the section, like education being the main heading. Then I'll have in bold the actual qualification. Then I'll have the dates in italics, just so it's easy to find. Okay, and have that formatting arrangement consistent throughout the CV. I think the rest is okay. Some people like to put in whether they graduated with honours or ducks of class and that sort of stuff.
Work experiences that happen in there.
Yep. But that otherwise, it's pretty good. Yeah. Work experience. Yep. Next section. All right. Software engineer, Millennium Technologies. All right. Okay, January 2015 to present.
Yep. So it's ordered it correctly. We've got the most recent experience up top. And previous experience before that, that's right.
The thing that I have trouble with here is that the dot points, they're not overly specific. So the first one there, worked on various software projects. Well, yeah, man, you've done a Bachelor of Technology, and I reckon you have done a few of that. What exactly have you done? What are your exact achievements? What are the precise tasks that you've done in the role? That sort of thing. Get a little bit more specific.
Yeah. We love for software engineers in particular, and for other professions, even just 1 or 2 lines underneath the dates that you've worked, just describe what you did, what the company is about, something along those lines to give us a context in which you worked. And then once we start looking then at, if we're talking about IT, CVs for your role, I'd love to know what sort of technologies you worked with, what sort of projects you were on, the industries they were relevant to. When we talk about collaborating with team members, did you manage any team members? Were you collaborating with commercial? Were you client facing? Adding those things in can be really important because when you get to the interview stage, you are going to be asked about the specifics and you are potentially going to be tested on particular skills that you represent you have in these CVs. So it's really important to highlight that. And the other thing I'd throw in, Michael, is Ritesh started as a junior software dev back in 2012, did that for 2 years and went on to be a software engineer. I would love to know if there was any more progression in his career and his career titles, even if they were like for a year and a half, or managing, being a team leader, things like that, just to be able to show us what happened over the last 9 years.
Yep, definitely. Great. I really liked your point about having just a short sentence describing what the company was. Because if you're an Australian employer, you're not going to know who Millennium Technologies is, what they do, that sort of thing. So that's a really good point too. Anything else? I think that's about it. But just, be specific in your descriptions of tasks and things.
Okay, skills. These are just not specific enough. On an IT CV, I would really like to see, number one, software and languages that you are competent in. And generally, we want to guide the reader of the CV to the correct answers here. So usually I recommend people do a star ranking system. So 5 stars against things that you're really proficient at, then a couple of 4-star ones and a couple of 3-star ones. We want to show the employer where your skills sit. And that might even be, you might talk about front-end work, you might talk about back-end work, you might talk about cloud, cybersecurity. Give us the real specifics and meat of where you work and what you do. Programming itself is not a way to describe your work. Software development is not a way to describe your work. Collaboration, problem solving, testing, these are not ways to describe your work. You must be specific. We are looking for details here. And especially in IT, being detail oriented is a big part of the task.
Just a comment on formatting there in the skills area. You've got quite a bit of white space there. So that leaves a little bit of space to, you might write the actual skill, but a really specific skill, more than just programming or testing, but a really specific skill. And you've got a bit of space there to write what you've actually achieved in that skill. Like that, that sort of stuff, being really, really specific. Alternatively, you can use that white space to put another section, like project section, which we'll get to in a sec. You can move that up and make the CV shorter so people can look at it much quicker.
So the next section is project section. I'm going to flag here, I actually thought this might have come from ChatGPT. And the prompt would have been something like, write for my CV about projects I have done in IT. And these could not be more generic. They haven't got any meat to them. So worked on multiple projects across different domains. That is one of the most generic sentences I've ever heard. Involved in software development and bug fixing. There's just no meat on the bone with this, and collaborated with team members to meet project deadlines. The thing is, from the outside, you think these are the things an employer wants to know that I did. The trouble is, without providing detail, I don't trust that you did it. And I get the ChatGPT feels from this section.
Completely agree. Again, it needs to be specific. At least like the last 3 sections. Same comment. Be specific. Note your achievements, that sort of thing. Not just generic stuff. And I completely agree. That's straight off the internet, that one, it looks like.
Yeah.
And if it's not, well, it needs to be better. Certifications down the next section. Certified in Java programming. You need to put this stuff in, but put the dates in.
And who certified you?
Who did it? When did they do it? That sort of thing.
There's just, again, being certified in Java programming is great. I would expect...
I can buy one off Amazon, a little certificate. I can make one in Canva.
I would expect more certificates and certifications, more things that are relevant to other technologies as well, especially since Ritesh says that he's got 9 years experience as a software engineer. I would expect he's been exposed to a lot more technologies and trained on a lot more tech than what he's representing here. And he mentioned completed various online courses in software development. Again, this feels very ChatGPT to me because there aren't specifics. Just being blunt and honest, I get a sense that, okay, this person is working in an engineering role. I don't doubt that. They've been working in software engineering for a long time, but this whole CV gives me a lack of confidence in the ability to write documentation. That might be a language barrier, that could, there are many reasons why it could be, but I just don't get the sense that this person actually took the time to write about their experience and their skills.
The other thing it says to me is that with all this that we've said, it also speaks volumes around this person's commitment to the migration and settlement process. Because it's a pretty involved process. Even just getting the visa, that can take a bit of time. It takes a fair bit of commitment, bit of money involved, all that sort of stuff. This is your first chance to get in front of an employer. You want to put your best foot forward. You don't want to be being as brief and vague as this.
I've lived in India for a good 4 years. I work with tech teams in India. I know people like Ritesh. I know that they are some of the best developers in the world.
Ritesh could be fantastic.
Without a doubt. And this just does no service. This just gets thrown out. And so, look, we work with people to bring their resumes up to scratch, and we take time and we mentor and guide and even do rewrites. Same with interview questions. It's just when we receive something like this, it can't go to an employer. And my thought is, and you're probably similar, these are going to employers every day from people who are just willy-nilly emailing companies in Australia, and these companies keep a file in their CRM about who's applying. They can see what you've sent them in the past. It's not worth jeopardizing your future employment prospects by sending out a very average resume.
Yeah, you got to put your first foot forward, your best foot forward. Languages is the next section. Really important, fantastic, but again, more specific. So he's got English there. Okay, English, great. How fluent are you? Have you done an English language test? Have you done your IELTS or a PTE or something like that? If so, what was the score that you got? When did you get it done?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So that's important. And Hindi, fantastic. Again, just the fluency level. It's really important.
And so we know that most of the education delivered in India, where Ritesh is from, is in English. And so we would expect him to have a very high competency in English. It's just not reflected here. That's the opportunity he has to showcase himself better.
Great. Hobbies. I have mixed feelings about this.
I believe these. I genuinely believe that these are his hobbies.
Oh, I believe that too. I was wondering whether it's necessary.
So, coding and reading tech blogs, for me, you only put that in if you actually feel that.
Yeah.
So I genuinely think that's him.
No criticism of the actual hobbies at all. I'm just wondering whether that section even needs to be in there. I'm not sure. I don't know.
There's a mix. No correct approach, but if you're going to put something in there, this actually builds some trust for me.
That's great, because I mean, a lot of people do put in very generic hobbies that we all like. Travel. We all like travel, don't we?
Well, that's it. These are specific. That you've got to give that to Ritesh.
Yeah, exactly.
These are spot on.
Yep. Something that can strike up. Put in a hobby that can really strike up a conversation in the interview.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing. So a bit of a left of field thing that you're really interested in. It can strike up a hobby, and then that gives you a chance to increase rapport with the people who you're interviewing with. So that's something that you can try and do too.
I would say for Ritesh, and we're in touch anyway with the actual person whose name it is.
And it's not Ritesh.
No.
We changed it.
There is a ton of opportunity for them, and right now isn't the moment to apply for jobs overseas. I think they should wait 3 to 6 months and hone everything. Get it right. Practice the interviews, practice the CV, get everything lined up to be able to actually get a job overseas. Otherwise, you're just fluffing around, and there's no point in doing that. And so we are, as Michael has mentioned, that we do have an offer on group coaching.
We do.
Do you want to have a chat about that?
Yep, definitely. We are kicking off some group coaching in October. We've already got a cohort that we do regular group coaching with, but we want to expand that. If you're a subscriber, you can go down to the link below this video and you can get a pretty massive discount on that, 50%, and it will be catching up a couple of times a month with the rest of the community. You can answer any questions you want. We'll be as helpful as we possibly can, which is pretty damn helpful, because we are physically in the weeds helping people get over to Australia on skilled visas. We're doing the visa work, we're doing the employer work, we're doing all of it, and then we're doing the aftercare work when they get here too. So any question is good. We'll be in your corner. We can give you the facts, we can give you the right information, so you don't have to go digging around getting the wrong information. So link below, give you a massive discount on that. Group coaching kicks off in October.
And comment below if you've seen CVs like that of Ritesh and what you thought about it. If you think this is pretty standard what you've seen out there, or any advice you'd like to give. We really hope to be able to work on more of this.
One more thing.
Yep.
We've done the tip.
Yep.
We've done the pitch and all that. Something that Ritesh did really well.
Yeah.
He didn't do any colourful graphics. He didn't
true.
put in a photo.
Yep.
Any of that. That's great. We don't need colourful graphics. We don't need a photo. We don't need to know who he's married to. We don't need to know his sex or his age or his religion, which is good. Anyway,
he's a proper engineer.
It's good.
Ritesh.
That part is excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm hopeful for him.
Anyway.
Like and subscribe below if you enjoyed this. We have more CV breakdowns coming to you
We do.
from different industries, so hit the notification bell as well. You get alerted each time we upload a video.
And check out our coaching program. I think you'll find it useful.
Bye.